the show. It's time to rock and roll. Let your presence grow. We're dialing up the energy, giving it our all. Get ready for the ride. We're about to make the call. Get found, be seen. It's time to take the stage. Unlock your potential. Let the world engage. Get found, be seen. We're breaking through the noise. With every rhythm roll, we'll rise and rejoice. Get found, be seen. It's time to take the stage. Unlock your potential. Let the world engage. Get found, be seen. We're breaking through the noise. With every rhythm roll.
We're here. We made it.
It's Monday. Monday
Monty Monday.
and then Monday to boot.
And we're back for another edition of Get Found.
Be seen.
That's right. That's right. Co-host CarlAlleyne and Monty Armstrong. Making it happen on a Monday.
Having fun at the same time.
At the same time. You got that right.
At the same time.
Yes, indeed. Today's interesting. We're talking about less is more, the Streamline strategy.
Yeah, that's a favorite topic of mine.
Favorite.
A favorite topic of mine because it's a topic that falls into the belief buster category because it's got a preconceived notion or a social norm that I like to challenge. Less is a number. So if I'm going to be more efficient, I must reduce the number of whatever it is, things that the topic is about. And I like to challenge that fewer might not be the less that we need to get the more out of it.
Ooh, that was said well. To get the more out of it may not be the less we need. Did I say that right?
Yeah. The social norm less might not be the less we need. Specifically, let's tie that in. What in the world is Monty talking about here? We're talking about marketing tools.
Right.
Specifically, the number of marketing tools becomes overwhelming. All these different things we need so that we can send out emails and do posts and have analytics and have landing pages and lead magnets and generate texts and edit things and schedule and calendars and
mind maps.
And well, that's the helpful part. All these other things are things that are like necessary. It's like, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I need to do some stuffs. Oh, well,
right.
You're going to need an email. You're going to need ultimately some place of headquarters, physical, right. Probably, which hopefully might be your own home or some office location like myself or whatever, but also on the web. Do I have a website? Do I just use LinkedIn? What's my home base? And figure that out. But then there's just email responders and all these different things you get overwhelmed with. And the first instinct is, well, I need to get the fewer of those. I don't need as many. I want less. And then I can get more done.
Right.
But you can't get any less than a certain point because you need those tools. Okay, so I'll get an all-in-one. There we go. My autoresponders in my all-in-one and my video hostings in my all-in-one and all, but you still have an autoresponder and a video hoster. It's just in the all-in-ones, so you haven't reduced the number of things you're using yet.
And they might be clunky.
Right, and so that's the segue. Now, how easy is it for you to use? There's an efficiency factor. A lot of times the efficiency is looked at, well, how many things does it do for me?
Right.
And it doesn't matter how many things it can do for you. Can you take advantage of them? Will you take advantage of them? Just because you can doesn't mean you will. Yeah, I can, but it's painful for whatever reason.
Right. And just because you say you will doesn't mean you can. A lot of cases that we found for some
This
people.
is true too. This is true too. Or the other part is, it's easy. I just don't have the month to take the academy or the university, to get to that point.
Right.
That's overwhelming. So identifying where is the overwhelm, and how can I reduce that overwhelm? How can I make it less? And it might not be the number of tools. In fact, you might add another tool in to reduce the overwhelm, to reduce the stress. Because now I use this tool instead of the built-in portion on that tool, and it's better. And I'm going to just pull you right on out from under the bus. I'm not going to throw you under the bus. I'm going to pull you out. But you do that tactic. You use ClickFunnels.
Right.
It has an autoresponder in it.
Yep.
And you choose to use MailChimp.
Correct.
So, again, identifying what works best for me.
Correct.
And what works best for me is going to give me the least amount of overwhelm. So rather than forcing myself in, and I've talked to other people who say, well, I'm just going to use this tool because it's built in. I'm already paying for it. And I understand that philosophy. And definitely when financial decisions are involved, those take a higher priority. So if that's part of the equation, well, then you may have to tolerate something. But if that's not in the equation, it's like, I'll spend an extra $15 a month for this other tools. That way I don't have to struggle with this one. And then I can go forward. That might be the half step.
Right.
In my circumstance, it was about a calendar.
Calendar.
My overwhelm was, okay, I'm paying for my email thing because it's through GoDaddy and I'm a reseller, and I'm in that I'm already paying for something thing. And it comes with the calendar. And you know this one, that wonderful GoDaddy Outlook and the GoDaddy Outlook calendar. Sometimes you challenge your eyeballs out.
For real.
So
I'm surprised I already have mine. I still have mine.
So I just said, okay, fine, I'm going to use a different calendar. So I searched around. Now, the problem was the biggest reason why the Outlook calendar didn't work for me is I wanted to be able to scroll between months and see the last 2 weeks of one month and the first 2 weeks of another month. And in the format that I have, I've been told that there are Outlooks out there that people do that. My wonderful from GoDaddy version doesn't have that option anywhere. I have searched for hours looking for it. And so I finally found something. Hey, here's a calendar in Trello. This is awesome. It's a plugin. It's an additional plugin thing, and I can access this Trello calendar, and I do everything in there. And I can scroll the way I want. I'm unwhelmed. I found the tool I want. It's even free. Beautiful.
Nice.
I used that for quite some time.
Right.
And then recently, what's been happening is I'm collaborating more, I'm scheduling more, and the scheduling part is now disjointed because this plugin for Trello is not synced in the same with calendar invites.
Interesting.
So I can't scale it. The point is, there's where I talk about with getting to a half step, getting started. I got started on this calendar. I'm to a point, though, that I can look in the future and say, hey, man, if I get another 5, 6, 7 appointments starting to come into my I'm going to be spending way too much time manually doing everything. It was fine at first. I've evolved. I need to step back and pivot. I need to check what's going on. I need to evaluate it. And now I'm moving on and testing. So I have taken my Outlook calendar I don't really want to use, but I've started shifting. Started saying, okay, I'm not just going to dive into this thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start using it for my calendar invites.
Yeah.
And I'll have my Trello calendar that I can keep track of my daily to-do stuff and the things that I'm trying to do on a daily basis. And then I'll have the Outlook calendar where I can check for my timed appointments with my collaborations. So there's the next step was, I'm going to use 2 calendars and be unwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
And people are probably right now going, that's crazy. That is ridiculous. You're going to use 2 calendars to make it easier? Well, the beauty of the half step is that lasted for 3 hours. As I just transferred a couple of things over from Trello calendar into the Outlook calendar.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, all right, not so bad. I stuck my toe in. I put both feet in there, sat on the edge of the pool, got acclimated to the water a little bit. And it's like, okay, now I can see that I've done that. Yeah, I know everybody else is saying, I told you, 2 calendars is stupid. But it was my half step that got me to use the Outlook calendar that I didn't want to use whatsoever.
Yeah.
Now, will I stay there? Other than I can hear them right now. People are saying, use Zoho, use whatever. All these, use Google. What's wrong with Google?
Google Calendar.
Again, all of them have the same problem I don't like.
Yeah.
I already have the Outlook one. So there's the unwhelming portion. It's already attached to my email. I'll just shift into it from the Trello. That's the unwhelming part.
Yeah.
And then later, I'll run into whatever is starting to overwhelm me about the Outlook calendar at that point, because I have evolved and grown.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I'll run into some. That's another beautiful thing. Like with mind mapping, I wasn't searching for something. It was introduced to me. Thank you, Carl. And I'm now utilizing that for a lot of different things.
Right.
So I'm sure that somewhere along the line, someone's going to say, "Oh, well, I use this calendar."
Yeah.
And it'll be at that right time. I'll be receptive. I'll be the ideal client of that scenario. So there's wrapping all that up. I just yammered for a whole bunch of time. At first, my unwhelmed tactic was use this third-party thing, add one more stuff into it. And then it worked, and I did that until I couldn't scale it. So I said, hey, I'm going to unwhelm by adding another piece of technology into my mix. And that helped me move forward some so that I could say, yeah, that's not enough. I need more. So that I was pivoting.
Yeah.
I'd check stuff out. I'd evaluate it. It's not quite working out right. Well, that's okay. Just pivot again. Okay.
Right.
Check that. Now I'm this week that's my goal. Let me get the rest of the stuff out of Trello, get it all into the Outlook, and then I'll just move forward with that. I can focus on the next thing.
Right. Question. For you, I hear echo. Do you?
I'm not hearing an echo.
Are you not?
Who, echo of me or echo of you?
Echo of me. Oh, it's gone now. Wait a minute. It's gone.
Gone.
You might have did something to get rid of it. It's gone now.
Well, good.
Oh, well.
I have earphones on order.
Gotcha. My question to you is, how long for you in general, like for different things, how long is a process to kind of test out and take the half step to see whether things work or not? Test phase. Yeah. No, well, different things are different.
Part, you can't test until you've actually done something. So the time frame involved with doing the part, that's the explosive part. That's the imperfect action.
Right.
That's the imperfect plan executed with passion.
Episode 1, podcast episode 1.
Is going to give you something much better than the absolutely perfect plan that never gets executed, or worse, gets executed just a little bit too late and fails. Wait, it was the perfect plan. Well, it was perfect, but it took too long. So therefore, it wasn't perfect. How's that for a catch-22?
Yeah.
But
True.
the testing part all depends. 3 hours for the testing, the first testing of Outlook and the Trello combined thing. You know, so the first 15, 20 minutes, I'm like, oh yes, I'll just accept all of these invites that are sitting in my email that I just let sit there because I can't put them into the calendar I'm using. So now I get them out of my email and into my calendar. And now I'll just say, okay, I have 2 calendar tabs. Okay, I'll flip back and forth, you know, and then I got some stuff switched and I looked at it and I formulated it and I looked how they showed up on each other because my Trello stuff can show up on the Outlook. So there I'm going, okay, now I don't have to look at the Trello calendar. I can actually access it from the Outlook calendar.
Right.
And so then that was hour 2. And then I got an hour 3 and I'm like, but that's an extra step. I could actually just make the appointment right here in the Outlook calendar and just do it all in the Outlook calendar. And it will be easier, even though I thought it wouldn't be. So it was 3 hours, but there was actually 3 stages.
Yeah.
Of that transformation. There was 2 extra pivots in there to find the correct heading. Or what I like to say sometimes is just to find the right tracking in the lane. Yeah. I knew what I needed to do. I was on the right road.
Right.
You know, I was just kind of veering off over the white line. And then I'd come back and kind of go over the yellow line a little bit. Oh, okay. Now I'm on course. And at some point, the road will take a 90-degree turn. I know I'm using a Microsoft product. It will take a 90, if not 180-degree turn, maybe even like a curly cube, whatever it does. At that time, I might jump ship, I might pivot, I might do something. I'll figure that part out then. For now, I've gotten to that point. Another half step.
Yeah. I love that reminder.
Half steps. So in the time that I was worried about just getting the first step done, I've now surpassed it and done an extra half step.
Yeah, love that. I love the reminder too of the imperfect action. Take the half step, imperfect action. I heard I can't remember the exact quote, but Myron Golden, the entrepreneur, said he talked to the effect of, how did it go? Oh man, it was great. But it was the idea, if you're gonna wait to wait, if you're gonna spend your time getting ready to get ready, by the time you get ready, people are gonna leave the auditorium. You know, everyone's left the show. I'm saying show on my terms, but he said something different. But it was really cool. I'm like, that's such a great point. We could give it.
Well, you know, it's almost that. Hey, let's analyze the exact structure. If you're getting ready to get ready, that means you will never start. You need to be getting ready to start, so that way the getting ready phase ends and the starting phase starts.
Right. Yeah, it's so good though. But it's a great reminder because that was our first episode taking imperfect action.
Imperfect action, absolutely.
So,
and there are plenty of other coaching programs and courses and professionals out there that teach that method. I've run across the 100 Days of Imperfect Action.
Right.
That was Rachel Peterson.
Right.
So it's proven.
It's proven.
Proven technique.
And it's a proven technique, and it's so simple, but sometimes it's so hard to do depending on the mode that one's in. So being, definitely takes that self-awareness to pay attention. That's been in my conversations lately too, having the self-awareness and studying yourself. And I work with different audiences, and my main thing is I love the whole introvert, small business owners. But even as an artist, I'm working with artists and I'm saying, hey, you got to be self-aware of who you are. You're an instrument, and I take that in different, even with business, I'm an instrument giving value and improving someone's professional life, personal life. So as an instrument, I got to keep being self-aware. Am I taking imperfect action or am I waiting to get ready? Am I getting ready to get ready? So being aware of that and then closing the gap. Check this out. Closing the gap as fast as possible and as much as possible, so I can get to that place where I'm taking, kind of get my fingers right. There we go. Oh, it's not perfect. It's okay. But when you want to get there, you want to close that gap so you could take the imperfect action, because there's so much victory there. You get so much done.
And that falls right into my half step. That's my description of that. Is and then talking with our friend Steven this morning. Kudos to Steven. We approached this topic of where he has a program that describes, hey, when you're trying to get videos going and you're trying to make videos for the first time or get back into it or whatever, you want to improve your videos.
Yeah.
When we're talking about equipment and hardware, there's the bare minimum. You got to have certain things. You got to have a camera of some kind, whether it's your phone or a webcam or we could talk about all these different choices, but you got to have a camera.
Right.
You got to have some kind of lights because you can't be in the dark.
Right.
If you're going to be on video. You got to have a microphone of some kind, which may or may not be attached to said camera.
Right. Audio is important.
But then there's like, well, it'd be nice if you could have these things. It'd be a step up if you could do it this way, And then ultimately, if you just had all the money and all the space and everything, all the time available to you, this is the best stuff you could possibly have. And so his program goes over that. But there's that's a full-on step for someone to analyze that situation. The person approached him and said, hey, what's the bare minimum for me to get started doing some videos for educational purposes on a 200 quid budget? So it's like, oh, well, then they're asking for the half step. They're needing that. Where can I get started? And for different people, it's going to be a different amount. And there's where the testing comes in of how long does it take? As long as it takes.
Right.
Don't give up. That's the testing. That's the repeating. Did it give you the results you wanted? No? That's all right. Just pivot
adjust. Tweak, adjust.
Yeah.
Right. That's part of the process too.
That's that failing fast. That's trying and not accomplishing. That's learning from your mistakes. There's all these different ways of describing the same feeling, the same effect.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the pivot.
Pivot.
Uh-huh. That's in my book. I'll bring it up now. The Unwound Marketing book. That's what we're all talking about. It's one of the chapters. Less is more.
Uh-huh.
And taking half steps and pivoting. Because you can't pivot till you take the half step. You can't adjust your heading until you're actually moving somewhere. Right. You can face a bunch of different directions, but that doesn't actually change anything.
Right. And they can find that information in your book. So in your book too, by the way, you said book. Wait a minute. We can't just pass that up. You kind of said that kind of quick.
You dropped the ball in there. Oh yeah. The new book I just wrote. Oh, the ideal client map? No. That's the old book. That was from earlier this year.
That's the old book. I love the way you said that. No. That's old. No, this is new. So tell us about your new book.
The new book is Unwound Marketing, which, let's see here, it's right there. Unwoundmarketing.com. You can pick it up. It's live.
Hey, no, love it. You mean that one?
That's the address. Unwound Marketing, the Solopreneur's Guide to Clarity and Action. And if I had my stuff ready, I would have already had this up here. But I guess I have to take a moment and
take imperfect action.
Take some imperfect action. Get that on the screen there, so that way I can. Bang! There it is. If I move it over here, then I can get even more excited and say, "There it is! Unwound Marketing."
You should have had the book open in your head, kind of like in the crevice of it, saying hello.
That'd be kind of cool. I could also, just be like,
be behind book head, right? Right behind the book. I love that. That's cool, man. I got my copy about. Let's see. I got my copy about a half hour ago.
Wow. Thank you.
Boom.
Thank you, Mr. Carl.
Can't wait to read it.
Well, it's yeah, I'm selling it. It's on Amazon, 99 cents, because I just want to get it out there. These are all the thoughts and stuff that we've been talking about. They were in one of these chapters, and this is my journey learning how to deal with all the obstacles and things that everybody, particularly solopreneurs, because we're a team of one. And some solopreneurs have some support of some family members, but if they get a lot of support, then you're a co-preneur and you're both working on it together. But if you're just working on it all by yourself, hiring someone on Fiverr, you're still a solopreneur. Collaborating with someone, having a podcast, you're still a solopreneur. When you have to figure out, how do I do this funnel thing? How do I do this email responder thing? How do I do all these steps so that I can market my course? All those things by yourself becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
I became overwhelmed. I didn't, that's why I keep describing that. It's like, oh, I should do this. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, but I could do it like this. Oh, wait, this makes more sense. But until I took the first half step and just started doing stuff, which was our first podcast episode, out of all the stuff that I have been doing, that was the catalyst. Because it was that first imperfect action. What are we going to do a podcast about? I don't know. Let's just get this started. Let's do some imperfect action. That sounds like a good topic. Let's just do what we're doing. Let's just talk about what we're doing. Which is kind of carried forward. Here we are, talking about what we're doing.
Right. I love it. But it's cool. I see where the imperfect action led you. Right. I see where it led you.
Right.
To your book. So just it's the process. The power of the process is so important. That's a good chapter for a book. The power of the process. That's something to dive into for sure. But another topic.
Another topic. Process, frameworks, and all those good things.
But that helped out. That helped out in your your becoming unwhelmed. You're overwhelmed and becoming unwhelmed. Just that part. That's part of the process. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. And then with self-awareness, let me get back in here. Self-awareness and knowing these are the types of things that have overwhelmed me in the past. So when you can become unwhelmed, you want to stay unwhelmed.
Yeah.
Although sometimes in marketing, as we know, the journey is not necessarily as even keel as we would like. There's that too. But there's also it's the, I'm ready to take on the world. Oh my gosh, things are horrible. You got all these things like, I've got everything set up and everything. My account got deleted. It's just.
What about that step?
Under control things.
Yeah.
That, I did this thing because it was the best thing out there, and now AI technology is advanced. Now there's these new tools that are even better than what I was using, and what I was using is now old.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's real. That's so real. That's how I felt about Camtasia. Then I started using CapCut and then these short form video apps as well. So things change, things evolve, and it's hard to quickly adjust. It's hard to make the adjustments quickly sometimes. And sometimes it moves so fast, so you can't even think about it. It's only subconscious at that point.
Which actually I was just going to say that sometimes the change is in you.
Yes.
Sometimes agreed. I've discovered that the technologies are the same, but what I want to do, my ultimate goal is differently. And so now I need to shift how I want to do them, which tools I want to use, or maybe I need to find a whole new tool, or just need to use them in different ways. I have a video creation tool that I was making little videos for in the past. even before I started my market. But in fact, that was at starting on my marketing journey, is that I was going to make little ads, little video ads. And now I use that tool to make still images and put words on it because I know the tool and I can make that happen quickly. Would Canva do that for me? And is Canva free? Yes. But I would have a learning curve to do the exact same thing I want to do in something I just fire up because it's already installed. I just do my thing and I'm done. Plus, there's some other stuff about it that are some neat features that integrate with some other software. So again, I've identified what's unwhelming for me.
Right.
And there's the other cliche statement: what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another.
That's right. That's right.
So true.
Wow. Drag, drop, done. I'm dropping all these words today.
Yeah.
I just want to make you laugh, Monty.
It's a Monty Monday. It's a good Monday.
Monty Monday. That's right. Yeah, this is good stuff. This is important to, this is great to dive into this, and having the whole lesson more concept. It's funny you talked about that too at the beginning, going back to the all-in-one concept. And let me know if I hope I'm not going too much off track, but I just find it interesting that you talked about that, and that's what I think about. All in one. Oh, perfect, great, yeah, I'm good now. But it's not that simple. Like you mentioned, I had to make some adjustments on my end, so.
No, that's right on track. That's a key point of what I was talking about with the less is more. It's perspective and context. Because in some people's world, when they found their particular all-in-one, and oftentimes it's not the first one. Sometimes it is. Yeah. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's the one they found that is evolved, or they tried the first version of one and they didn't like it, and then they came back and tried the second version and they've fallen in love with it. Right. I actually heard the other one. The first version they like, and now there's a new version and they don't like the new version. Well, so again, one solution is not going to be for everybody. That's why there's so many. Yeah. In my circumstance, with the unwhelming portion, is the all-in-ones have to have more navigation for all the stuff. And they seem to, because they're combining stuff and doing things, this is my guess, I don't know for sure, but from what I've gleaned, there's really good programmers involved. And really good programmers are most often, and we're going to stereotype, but it's a mode of operation. When you understand coding that well, communicating with humans is a task. It's difficult because everything I do, if I just say it right, it works right. I say it to a human and they interpret it in some weird way that I didn't mean. Right. So there's this disjointed, and then there's also the stereotype, and that you got the humans thinking, well, these robot people that program don't know how to communicate, and so we already have a gap or a barrier involved. Right. But the point being is that these platforms are built in this complete logic sense. If you know all the information about it, it's logical. It's not intuitive to someone who doesn't know all the information to navigate through them easily. And one of my examples is, in one platform, there are 3 different locations with the same name. They're just under different major headings. They go to 3 different things. They give the same name to 2 different things. And so then it becomes more burdensome to communicate. Well, where is it you want me to navigate to? Well, navigate to your products. Which products? Well, since we're talking about this topic and I know everything about it, it's this one. I'm taking it for granted. And after you've done it 100 times, well, then it's like, oh, I remember that now. I remember it. It's not intuitive. It doesn't change the fact that it's not intuitive.
Yeah.
I'm getting all emotional because I'm remembering getting into the gorgeous funnels and
Feeling that, huh?
man, it was so frustrating to be like, why do you have to click all this stuff? So that was the overwhelming part to me. And I was helping someone else in their account. They were overwhelmed. They couldn't figure it out. I figured it out. It just was painful. And then because I wasn't doing it all day long, when I came back 3 days later, it was like, I have to figure it out again. It's that unintuitive for me. Other people, it makes sense to them.
Yeah.
So again, different thought processes grab on. So the point being is that I needed to find a different thing, and I needed 3 different platforms to do what this one platform was doing.
Yeah.
But I just suddenly went, because in this platform, I need to do this thing. Do I got to do here? No, it's this other one. Do it here, but wait, there, over here it's I need to do this thing. It's in this platform. This platform takes care of that topic. Well, I needed to send a message over to the other platform. Well, it's here. I do the drop down and select the other platform. Save.
Right.
For me, that was what I needed, because then it's like, well, okay, now I need to do the email stuff. Okay, well, what's the difference in the all-in-one? I need to do the email stuff. Click here. Well, I need to do my email stuff. Click on the other tab I already have open to my email thing. So it's not really any more work to have an email responder separate from your video hosting, separate from your sales page platform. And now for me, it's all compartmentalized. Hey, I need to change a sales page. I go here. I don't have to figure out. I go here and then I go here. So actually, I think it saves me time because I'm going directly there.
Yeah. That makes sense. There you have it. I love it. I love that. But simplicity. Well, question. How would we keep it simple?
How would we keep it simple?
Keep it simple.
Be aware of what is less for you. Is it less items? Is it less work? Is it less time? Is it less stress?
Yeah.
Identify that thing that you need less, because otherwise you're kind of blanket approach trying to figure out, well, it's like a mechanic just changing out parts. Hey, did this make it better? Ooh, how about this? Did this make it better?
And you got to go back.
Then you got to go back.
Don't remind me of that. My AC unit in a minivan where I had 2 motors. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
There you go. Man.
It's interesting when you said that, because it reminds me of Brian Tracy. You know, he's like, Brian Tracy, he's an author, business world. His mindset is, your goal is you want peace of mind. If there's something that doesn't give you peace of mind, and that's what I'd add. You want peace of mind with what you do. If it doesn't give you peace of mind, well, I love when you said self-awareness as well, or be aware. So
that's another one of our buzzwords lately.
Yeah, I'm loving that one. I was on that. I was all over that this weekend.
Yeah, I think that pretty well wraps it up there. To keep it simple, let me scroll down on this other page here and see if there was some little nugget waiting down there in the summary. I must have scrolled past it there. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. And now I know. Now I remember what it was. It was the tortoise and the hare. And talking about steady wins the race, they say. And it's more on focus. You can go fast, but you need to stay focused.
Yeah. Yeah.
The hare would have won. He just lost focus.
Yeah.
So it's not slow and steady wins the race necessarily.
Steady and focused.
Focus and being able to pivot.
Being able to pivot. Pivot method. Good stuff, Monty. What was that?
So that's in the book too.
That's in the book too. Oh, you put it in there. I love it.
It's in this chapter. The chapter about less is more.
Oh, chapter 7?
Chapter 9.
Chapter 9. Okay. I'm gonna look for that.
You'll get there.
I'll get there. Slow and steady. Keep it simple. Take the half steps. I got it. So Monty, so let's can we bring it on again? If people want to get this book and they want to learn how to become unwhelmed, not underwhelmed.
Not underwhelmed.
I can't. Yeah, not underwhelmed.
That's another social norm. People, they just automatically, if it's over, the opposite's under.
Under.
That's like the
good.
misconception. Oh, well, hate's the opposite of love. Nope. You're missing the whole point.
Missing the point.
But anyway,
where can they go?
They can go to unwhelmed.com. With or without the www. Works either way.
Either way. And that's good to know.
Yes.
Good to know.
If you would like that book, all the stories, there's more in depth about the story with Stephen Lai. There's the whole what brought me to the point of complete overwhelm. And then some of those steps on identifying and becoming, gaining clarity. That's what I want to say. Identifying the sources of the problems and gaining clarity on how to get past it.
Love it. Love it. Good stuff. Get the book, y'all. You will enjoy it.
And it's just it's a good read. It's not a big massive book.
All good. Sometimes that's when you get the best nuggets and you get the best application sometimes. So
this is true. This is true. But in our busy world, sometimes finding time to do those extra things is difficult.
Right.
So I kept it short. Kept it sweet.
Get that book.
And a little humor.
A little humor. A little humor in there as well.
It's a little fun. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And if you're one who is trying to keep things simple when it comes to being on camera, having a strong presence, and even if you're an introvert, we would love for you to check out CarlAlleyne.com. Go there, get inspired, get some tools to help you in your journey.
Carl's been helping all sorts of introverts.
Wow, yeah. It's just fun. It's fun helping people to connect the dots. That's what it is at the end of the day, because people can connect the dots and it makes change in their lives, you know? So, part of the journey. Well, part of the journey. Oh, that's it, Monty. I think that's it. Did we hit everything?
We hit all the key points. Yeah, we reined in. There's rabbit holes that we could have gone down, but I think we did a good job being concise. Less is more. Half steps is the answer. Those are just other fancy words for other ways of saying the same tactics. You know, just takes them in imperfect action.
That's right. Imperfect action. So go take your imperfect action, y'all. Take your imperfect action this week. Have a blast. Have a great week. We'll be back with another edition of, you say it, Monty, this time,
of Get Found
and Be Seen.
All
right, everyone. Talk to you later. Waiting for my balloons.
Ready for the party.
2,
Let's
1.
go.
Bring the party. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, balloons. Oh, now it doesn't do it. But when I don't.
Now you're trying too hard.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Get found, be